Hey there everybody, and welcome to the final game for the Duke Nukem megathread. I'm still Niggeroth, and we'll be playing Duke Nukem Manhattan Project today. Manhattan Project was actually released for the Xbox Live Arcade and PC at about 2003 or so. It's a fairly different game, but let's go ahead and get started. We'll be playing on hard mode, and let's watch the opening cinematic. This is basically just a quick synopsis of the first couple of levels. The villain is Morphex. He's a new villain, and he's mutating people, and it's so we can fight the normal enemies we've been fighting.
Put them in a lockbox. I give you...
Say hello to my little friend. Let's rock.
You're heading for the roof!
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
So already we've been assaulted with some out-of-date references such as the laser quote and the lockbox quote, but as you can see, this game is fairly different from your usual Duke Nukem fare. We already actually just got our first secret of the game, which is getting the shotgun. One of the oddities, I suppose, for this particular game is that instead of each weapon having its own individual ammunition, they actually share ammunition between each gun. That right there was a nuke. Each stage has 10 nukes, and after collecting all 10 nukes, you get a stat increase, which includes increased life bar, increased ammunition, and just overall awesomeness. For the most part, they usually are hidden, but sometimes they're just kind of out in the middle of the stage, especially since this is the tutorial stage. But yeah, as you can see, Duke Nukem is very agile, very nimble, and for the most part, he's actually looking a lot better than he did in the PS1 titles. It's also showing off a little bit of the 2.5 perspective, I suppose. I guess that would be the best definition for it. Really, this game reminds me to some degree of Shadow Complex, which was another Xbox Live Arcade game. It's basically a very linear and dumbed down Shadow Complex, but it's still, you know, in comparison to the other Duke Nukem titles, this one's actually fairly fun to play. It's fairly easy to get into. But we shut down that generator just to show the dangers of environmental damage and also to get another nuke. Otherwise, this little area is kind of optional. But it's good to investigate, try to get all the nukes. The secrets are kind of so-so for the most part. They're not really that helpful. Really, it's all about getting the nukes and being barraged with wonderful references. That's what the Duke Nukem franchise is all about. And thankfully, this one is actually pretty tame in comparison to the other games. It cuts down on the misogyny. It cuts down on the really awful jokes, and it's actually fun to just kind of explore. But we just picked up the pipe bombs. They kind of serve the same purpose as they did in the other games, very high explosive damage and being able to uncover holes in walls and things like that. The major difference between the pipe bombs of this game and the pipe bombs of some of the other Duke Nukem titles is that you can carry quite a few pipe bombs. I think just by default you can carry about 50. Which is a considerably large number, and you can still throw out as many as you want and, you know, blow them up whenever. Also, the enemy types do start to vary up a bit more. For the most part, the first couple of stages are just going to be pig cops, which is not going to be that big of a difference, but, you know, they're just a staple enemy. And that right there, even though I didn't let it live long enough, those are kind of, well, they remind me kind of the seeker bombs that you see in some of the other games, but they also have a laser cannon and they'll start to take pictures of you, but that really doesn't do anything outside of tell you they're around. But they don't take too much damage, and they're mostly just an annoyance to actually try to hit. But as we continue along the cityscape itself, it might have been hard to see, mostly because I'm just slaughtering everything. But there was actually a Riot Cop, or Riot Pig Cop. He has a bit more health, and he does a bit more damage, but otherwise he's not too difficult to deal with. But yeah, I think I forgot to mention, but since pretty much all the weapons share ammunition, the only real difference is how many actual shots they take up per, firing. For the normal golden Desert Eagle, oh, it's a babe.
All yours, Duke.
Ooh, careful with those things.
Yeah, you have to make sure and save the one babe per mission. They are apparently strapped into a glop bomb, which is the substance that Morphex is using to create these mutants. And they're not too difficult to find. None of this game is particularly difficult, especially if you consider right now I am playing on hard. It's just a fun little game, really. It's just what you would consider a normal Xbox Live title. But yeah, I was talking about the ammunition. The shotgun, instead of using just one ammo per shot, it actually uses 5, but normally, since it takes about 2 shots to take down a pig cop, you're actually just gonna break even pretty much, unless you're just an absolutely awful shot, or if the whole weapon detection thing just kind of blows your mind. But even though I'm just kind of trying to hurry here, you do want to be careful of the environmental damage because it does a considerable amount more than most of the other damage in the game. And I know no one wants to see me skillfully dodge all this fire and slowly climb across, so let's speed that up. Another fun addition to this particular game, I suppose, is the fact that you can actually always pick up life increase items to go past 100 health. So, as opposed to the other games where you can only really increase your health past 100 with atomic healths, you can pretty much pick up anything, and you'll always be pretty good for health. I think you end up topping out your health at like 350 or some obscene number, but now we have the key card, we can actually exit the level, and we'll continue on to the next level. Hooray, we're in the next level. This one's actually more of what I would consider a normal level. This right here is a Riot Cop. Thankfully, they give you more of an option with your melee. You still have the mighty boot, but you can also slide forward and do kind of a sliding kick, or you can do a jumping kick. Actually, if you do manage to beat the game on easy, finding all of the nukes, you can actually double your kicking power. It's alright. The only reason you might want to use the kick is sometimes if you're playing on hard, you will actually run out of ammunition.
I can do this all
Especially for
day.
some of the later game, or for the later weapons, it's just kind of, you'll burn through it very quickly. Another returning feature from the other Duke Nukem games is a security camera. As opposed to the other games though, this one only shows you one set view, and it's not really that helpful at all. But as we continue forward, just finding nice little niches and secrets and things like that. Gotta be careful of the environmental damage. One of the more annoying points of the game is the fact that if an enemy is right at an edge of a ledge, they will actually just kind of nudge you off, and there's really not anything you can do about it.